So, Alex, in terms of those events, no matter whether they are shorter distance or longer distance, how long before would you start the tapering process, and what would this consist of for you?
So if I was, I don't know, booked in for a 10K or something like that, I don't think I'd need anything taper. For me, I can sort of incorporate enough mileage in my 30Ks a week to cover that sort of tapering period. If I've got a half marathon, I'll be looking at about 6 weeks ahead. I'll be thinking strategically. I'm a person who likes to write down on my phone, on my calendar, I've got a race day this day. So I'll work back from that. And with marathon, I gave myself a good 3 months
Wow.
to sort of really. I think it was a 15-week block, so just over 3 months. But that's starting from scratch. So and obviously you've got a week before that where you don't really run.
Right.
For the races where you really need to taper, like I say, plenty of nutrition, plenty of high carbs, high protein diet. Give your body what it needs. Plenty of rest in there. Actually, tell yourself today's a rest day. Don't do anything. Book yourself a day where you don't do anything and go out with your friends or do something socially rather than thinking about your training. Take your mind off it, because when you do train, you want your runs to be useful.
Yeah,
You don't want to
absolutely.
be exhausted going out for a 15K later.
Yeah.
You want to sort of know you're in the zone, ready to go. Because I talked with a club mate who's a really good marathon runner. And I said, like, what's your like little golden nugget of advice for us, man? Because he flies past me. And he was saying about, it's not about going out for 70, 80 kilometers a week. It's about going out. And if you're training for a marathon, it's about going out for a long run. And then right at the end of the run, picking it up. Can you resist that fatigue? Train your mind and your body to resist and go, do you know what? Actually, I can push further here. I can push faster. Push your body into a new sort of pain threshold that it's not used to.
And would you say you're able to do that on most runs, or is that kind of here and there kind of
I'd
thing?
love to say I can, but I
Yeah.
can't.
No.
Nobody can.
No.
There's days when I really struggle, and so my 10K is average kilometers. I think 3:38 a kilometer. On a race day, I can go and smash it out because of the adrenaline pumping. If you ask me to do a 50-minute 10K the next week, I'll be like slogging down the coast road, and I'll be like just wanting to take the early exit off by Mackey's.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not an everyday thing.
No.
I think it just, yeah.
You feel great when you actually don't take the early exit, though, don't you? I
Oh,
think that was for the CCI 10K that I recently did with you. You know, you did it as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
That was kind of instrumental in my training. You know, just kind of resisting the mind, like you said.
Yeah,
Resisting the mind is so important.
yeah.
But then also knowing when to not push it too far.
Yeah,
It's,
there are
it's a nice
times.
balance.
I think you'll know when that moment is. I think you'll know. I always call it a knife edge. Like you've got the comfortably uncomfortable sort of zone where like you're blowing, but you can sort of keep it going.
Yeah.
You'll know if you've gone too far because your legs won't carry you. Your mind will tell you when you can't cope.
A lot of people that I come across that have any involvement in running have a real fascination in shoes,
Oh yeah.
and what shoes are best, which shoes can maybe knock a couple of minutes off your time. Do you buy into this, and what do you use? What's your favourite?
Yeah, I do admit I've got racks of shoes at home. I do believe there is a performance benefit for myself. This isn't for everyone. This is dependent on who you are and what your gait is like, what your running technique is like. I personally have three shoes in rotation. I'll have a trail pair, I'll have an everyday, and I'll have a race shoe.
Yeah.
And if I've had an old pair of race shoes, maybe they might come into like a pair that I don't mind getting wrecked if I'm going on a longer, faster run. But I personally race in Nike Alpha Flies. I find that for me, I've tried a couple of super shoes and they might have hurt my toes. Just weren't quite right for me. But I feel like the Nike Alpha Fly is the one for me. It has the carbon plating, which is said to reduce shock absorption and help basically, I don't know, make a more efficient runner. I don't know the exact science behind it,
Yeah.
but I certainly feel for me as if my best runs have happened in those shoes.
So I personally really value Mo Farah as a bit of a role model when it comes to longer distance running. I think it all relates back to 2012 where he did take the two gold medals.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think he's done a lot for running. What are your memories of Mo Farah? Do you think the same? Or?
I was really lucky because in 2012 my uncle had a spare ticket for the Olympics and I was down in London for it. There was an atmosphere like I've never experienced. It was brilliant. I didn't watch the Mo Farah run. I watched Usain Bolt run, and the atmosphere in and around London was just incredible. I do remember watching Mo Farah bring home the Saturday night gold in the 5,000, or was it no, 10,000? I think he won first, and then I think later in the week he got the 5,000 as well. I remember it just being incredible. I wasn't running at the time, and I was looking at the clock and I was thinking, 13:20 or whatever he ran. That's so good. That if you were to actually put that on like a treadmill, I wouldn't even keep up for 3 seconds.
No.
Like it's sprinting speed for a long, long way.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah, and I think like the British public rightly commended him for his achievements there, because I just don't think it's been replicated since, really.
No, he's had a lasting impact on a lot of what running is now.
Yeah.
And you look at Kipchoge as well, like the same sort of influence, where if you just say the name, people know. It's a household thing, isn't it? And with Mo Farah's just humility around everything, he doesn't go around and flashy, he doesn't claim to be the big I am, he just sort of does his job and encourages a lot of, he posts to Instagram now, I think he goes to his kids' races and just loves running.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That must really kind of infuse the the other kids at the races as well.
I bet that's amazing.
Yeah. So if you do want to learn a little bit more about Mo Farah's journey, I'd recommend watching the Mo Farah documentary. I was just talking about it with Alex before. You've actually not watched it, have you? But
not yet, no.
But no, it is a really, really good one. From his childhood all the way through to those 2 Illuminous gold medals. So Alex, final question to you: do you have a message for anyone that's maybe thinking about taking up running but hasn't started yet?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just a go for it message. I think running is a great escape for myself. And it's sort of a time when I have a bit of a release, like I have a bit of stress or whatever, I just go for a run. That's what suits me. I do think taking your time getting into it is important. Of course, it's exciting to get going with it. Just make sure you're giving your body enough time to recover, anything like that you need. But getting started on running is possibly one of the best things you'll ever do. I've never heard anyone be disappointed or hindered in any way. It doesn't do anyone disservice to go out and just get running. And it might be that you start on the Couch to 5K. I know a couple of people who have just finished the Couch to 5K.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine has just finished the Couch to 5K, having and struggling with the first. I think the first one is like, it's walking 2.5K, and then you might run 100 meters or something like that. Really, really early stages of it. And she's just done her first 10K, something that she thought she'd never be able to do a couple of months ago. But yeah, something I'd strongly recommend there.
Brilliant. Perfect. So thanks a lot for coming on today, Alex.
That's no problem, mate.
I really appreciate it. Good to see you again after,
it's been a couple of years, hasn't it?
Yeah, I see you every now and again, but yeah, it's good to sit down after a good few years since uni. But yeah, thanks for coming on. And yeah, I'm sure we'll see you again next week for episode 4.